Well, just take a look at your screen. You're watching History in the Making. That is Shelly Carter being sworn in as Chief Shelly Carter. The Hartford native is New England's first black female fire chief. Welcome back to CT23. Earlier this month, Kara had an opportunity to talk with Chief Carter, who now runs the state's Department of Developmental Services Fire Department, based at the Southbury Training School.
We are so happy to welcome Chief Carter, who runs the state's Department of Developmental Services Fire Department, right here to Studio A. Welcome, Chief.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my goodness. Well, what does it mean to you when you hear that you are the first black female fire chief in all of New England? I know you've had a lot of firsts, but what do you feel?
You know, I'm just honored, and I'm amazed because literally in 1999 when I joined the fire department, wasn't even a thought to become a fire chief. It was put my head down, do my work, learn my job. But as I grew in the fire service, I realized that I could become a leader and lead a department. And so as I grew and made rank and promotions, I was like, okay, I think I could be a chief. And so I worked towards becoming a chief.
Yeah. And boy, did you ever. And you know, what people need to know also, I think a lot of women will say, well, oh gosh, how do you have the rhythm and everything else? Because between you and your husband, who's also a firefighter, you have 7 children.
Yes, yes.
That's busy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, our boys are amazing. We have 5 boys, 2 girls. We have grandchildren. Luckily, my husband is retired, and he is able to take care of the boys that's home with us right now. I'm honored that he just really gives me the strength and the push to go ahead and do what I'd like to do. But I do understand that my children are my children, so when they're hungry, they're like, Mom, what's for dinner? So I'm not chief at home, but definitely chief at work.
Okay.
Yes.
We try to be chief at home.
Yeah.
What do you think is so important about getting more females into the force? Because I read that at first you thought, I can't do this. I'm a girly girl. That sounds like hard work. I mean, you didn't really see yourself at first, and yet now it's a passion of yours.
Yes.
You even run camps to kind of get more females involved in firefighting.
No one told me at 14 that I could be a firefighter. I am telling young ladies right now, 13, 14, 12, any young lady I see, guess what? You can do this job. And the reason why I do that is because I had no knowledge of the fire service. I joined when I was 29 years old. If someone had told me that I could do this when I was 18, I would have been a little farther along, but it would have given me a bigger opportunity to spread the knowledge that, hey, you can do this. And women need to know that we can be brave and strong and confident and bold, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so, and be moms and be daughters and still run a fire department or be a firefighter. So yes, my passion is to tell ladies, you can do this. There's nothing that's impossible.
Right. Right, and you also talk about the dynamic of often you might be the only female in that firehouse. What's that like?
Well, it's, you know, across the country, it's only about 4% female firefighters nationally. And so shame on the fire service because, you know, we want a more diverse departments. We want more diversity in the service. And so the whole idea is to make sure that even though I am the only black female, we do have other amazing white females who are fire chiefs right now in Connecticut, one in Woodbury, and I would like to just let ladies know that they can do this. So I don't want to be the only one. I am looking for the next female fire chief. I don't know where she is right now, but she's somewhere out there, and I want to reach out to her.
Okay. All right. And in fact, I guess we should do a little plug because you do have camps for teens to go to. Do they start this summer? Can you still do those? We
have a camp starting on Monday during the spring break right there in Hartford with Girl Scouts, and it's called Girls Future Firefighter Camp. It's a program that teaches young ladies about careers in public safety, police, fire, and EMS. They actually get to put their hands on equipment, wear the gear. We treat them like they are firefighters for the week, and they love it. At first, they're a little afraid or unsure or skimmish, or they not quite understand what's going on. By the end of the week, they're like, where do we do it again? How can we do it again?
Oh,
and
my
so
gosh,
they love it.
Yeah, and they get real sources, real skills like babysitting certified and CPR and all that.
Exactly.
I know you were born in the Philadelphia area, but we're going to claim you for Hartford for growing up from the time of 10 on. Who inspired you, or what happened maybe in your childhood that perhaps helped set you on this course?
You know, I often go back to my mom, who worked for the city of Hartford. She worked for Mr. Kinsella as the city treasurer. And as a child, I would go visit my mom at work, And I would walk in City Hall and go, wow, how do I get to work here? And I was a kid, you know, and everything was so much bigger. But Mr. Kinsella spent a lot of time with us girls, me and my sisters, and just telling us that we could do whatever job we wanted, just go to school and get good grades and things like that. And so I often equate that to where I am now.
Yeah.
I just look around and go, you know, it was the push that I needed to say, I can work here. I didn't know I was going to be a fire chief, of course, but to be able to be a leader like Mr. Kinsella, like my mom, who worked really hard to make sure that her girls were educated and were strong, and was able to do whatever we put our mind to. And so my mom, and between my mom and Mr. Kinsella, I think it was kind of the push that I needed.
Yeah, so I'm hearing a theme here. You got a strong mom who I know is going to be calling soon when the interview's over. She's watching and still cheering you on. You've got a supportive husband. And somewhere along the line, it was really about believing, and that's how you really want other young women, regardless of skin color, to know.
Absolutely.
And let me just ask a practical one. Regardless of size, we can do this?
Listen, my weight has fluctuated. Let's just say that.
I'm talking about height, too.
And you know what? We just need diversity.
Okay.
And so the jobs that I can do that my 6'4" brother firefighter can do, my 6'4" firefighter brother cannot do what I can do. You know what I mean? So if we need someone to go in a very small space, we have a person for that. If we need someone to climb the tallest ladder, we have a person for that. There's several different career paths in the fire service. There's several different jobs you can do. It's not always just running into burning buildings. And so that's what I want to tell young ladies. You can be a mom. You can have the time off. The schedule in Hartford, I do know, is 24 on 72. You have that time off if you need it. The whole idea is just come take a look and see what it's about. And that's my goal, is to just, let me just give you a looking glass so you can see what it looks like, feel the equipment, learn about it. And then in the future, if you choose to join, by all means, that's great.
I'm going to ask you a future ball question. We only have about 30 seconds. But you've done a lot. You've had a lot of firsts. You're a natural-born leader. Do you see yourself running for office someday?
Oh, someone has asked me that before. I don't think so.
You didn't think you were going to go be a firefighter
That's
either.
very true. There's a whole lot of fire administrative positions somewhere in the world. Right now, I just would like to just get into DDS, really understand how to protect those that we serve there, and across the state, all of our folks individuals with disabilities. Let's see where that takes me.
Okay.
You know who would love that interview? Denise DeCenzo.